Welcome to the Black Gay History Channel. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel for more captivating content. I had seen some very fascinating pieces of the 2-episode gay British miniseries, The Man in an Orange Shirt, but I finally watched it in full. I have to say this was a great show. The Brits know how to sell pensive love dramas, and this show was no exception. Y'all know I love a gay historical drama, and The Man in an Orange Shirt. Its whole first episode takes place in the 1940s, right after the Second World War, and we are introduced to a small British military family that struggles with the big gay secret in their family. Spoiler alert, major spoilers ahead. In the throes of war is Captain Michael Berryman and Captain Thomas March fighting on the front lines of the World War in Italy, dodging danger alongside each other, old classmates that have become military companions. One of the unspoken taboos of the military throughout time has been the relationship many men during war form with each other during these months away from their wives and girlfriends. Of course, these acts in the military and British life in general were illegal and many men were jailed. So of course Captain Berryman and Captain March kept their tryst a secret, but promised to reunite in London. When they do meet up for a few weeks, Michael and Thomas live in gay bliss in Michael Berryman's cottage in the countryside of London. And because Thomas is such an artist, he can't help but paint all of these different artworks of their time together in the countryside, including a striking portrait of Michael Berryman in an orange shirt. However, after their romantic bliss, Berryman has to tell March about his fiancée and his plans to raise a family. Thomas March was under the impression that they could live a discreet life together, but soon his dreams are shattered when Michael invites him to be the best man at his wedding to his loving and gorgeous wife, Flora. Thomas eventually decides to play the approving best friend and give the new family gifts, including some of the cottage paintings. I personally think this is when Flora started to pick up on the reality of their relationship. Eventually, Flora finds their love letters and the cat's out of the bag, but Michael chooses Flora, leaving Thomas devastated. This love triangle has a lot more drama that I won't share, but there's one final moment at the end of the first episode where it's clear that Thomas kisses the family goodbye forever, but his kiss goodbye is more like an F.U., and Flora smiles so smugly, as if she's won the real war and won her husband back. The entire second episode is about a time much closer to ours when Flora is now a grandmother, a widow who is still very close to her grandson Adam. Adam is a veterinarian who still clearly struggles to accept his gay identity, and considering who is raising him, his homophobic grandmother Flora, it's no wonder why. Adam only hooks up with men but can't seem to actually date them, and it's clear his grandmother Flora is vaguely aware her grandson is gay as well. At his work, he meets Steve, played by David Gyasi, a British actor I've covered before on this channel when he played the iconic role of Achilles in Troy Fall of a City. I detailed his steamy love story with his war and love partner Patroclus in 2 episodes you can find on our TV and European playlist. I really love seeing this old story being portrayed accurately with gay lovers as well as those actors being black men at that. But in this series, Gyasi is playing an architect, Steve, who has to put down his dying cat. And his first meeting with Adam is saying goodbye to his cat and becoming overwhelmed with emotions. Adam realizes Steve is gay when he mentions his partner, and since he doesn't have a lot of gay friends, he thinks of him when his grandmother decides to leave her old cottage in the London countryside to Adam in the hopes he could renovate it and live there. Y'all know we love a good love story, especially in the context of family history and breaking negative old family patterns. Adam invites Steve to the countryside to view the property, and though the home is busted down, Steve loves it, and since he's in the business of renovating, he wants to take on the project. But intuitively, Steve just wants to sell the place, and it seems he's also turning down a new relationship with Steve at the same time. Steve admits that his relationship with his man Casper is very open, and that they are basically just roommates at this point. But can Adam kick his habit of one-night hookups and actually commit to one man and just settle down? I love that we are also introduced to one of Adam's friends, Claudie, a familiar face I recognize from another fascinating British TV show. Claudie is played by Angel Colby, who plays in Guinevere and Merlin, another popular British series I'm fond of. In this series, Claudie is clearly one of the few people in Adam's life who he can confide in about his struggles as a gay man. That is before he meets Steve. They tied it all together at the end when, after renovating the space, Adam and Steve, ironic names by the way, throw a party to celebrate their newly renovated home and their new budding and committed relationship when they find the old painting that Thomas gifted his grandparents so many years ago. One of the party guests discovers a hidden portrait within the painting of the cabin, the man in an orange shirt, of course. And finally, Granny Flora has the guts to tell her grandson the truth about her husband and the man who painted these paintings, Grandpa Michael's true love, Thomas. I love stories like these because I have heard of enough of these stories in real life to know that we indeed do deal with a lot of the same problems and traumas our ancestors did in their lives in the past, and we'd be surprised how these patterns can play out for all of us in our own lives. I also love that Steve stuck to his principles and held Adam accountable for being faithful to him. I think so many of us are settling for non-monogamous relationships when many of us know that's not what we want in a partner, and Steve was almost willing to settle with Casper until he found Adam. Have y'all watched The Man in an Orange Shirt yet? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.